Something I realized when walking around Walmart for the millionth time in my life, walking around Walmart, trying to find a gift, another gift for this kid that likes Dragon Ball Z. He gets the best, okay? The only kid in the world that likes Dragon Ball Z, seems like. Got him in this poster. Yeah. On the front of the poster is an 11-year-old boy that is the hero for that part of the series. I wanted the 12-year-old to see that even an 11-year-old boy can outdo all the adults. Yep, and he did. An 11-year-old in Dragon Ball Z outdid everybody. And if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you know that. He outshined everybody. Even the character that I consider Jesus, Goku, he steps aside. He outshines Jesus of the series. He does. The Jesus of the series. The kid. The son of the Jesus, Goku. It's his son. Outdoes everybody. And I want this 12-year-old to see it. Yep. And he's better than everybody out there that won't go serve Jesus at the hot gates. You know what I mean? It's not even here yet. You know what I'm saying? But something I realized, and God did this intentionally. I was inviting X-Men one by one, without knowing. I thought the mission was in D.C. It isn't. I wasn't. This is the genius of Jesus, to weed out even the X-Men that I thought were followers of Jesus, legit followers. He weeded them out by not correcting me. He weeded out the X-Men that are not following Jesus right now at all. You can believe in Jesus and all that. That's not following Jesus. It's not. That's not serving Jesus. That's not devoted to Jesus. He cleared all those X-Men out that I thought passed all the tests. I did. If I give them an X-Men name, if I give someone an X-Men name, I'm like, okay, they might be a follower of Jesus. They might be a believer in Jesus. Maybe, if I give them an actual X-Men name. So they pass enough tests for me to say, because I can't see the X-Men, well, except for like the X-Men and like Bishop, I can see him. But as far as the X-Men I can't see, that only God sees, God has to clear them out. Because I don't know what they're doing with their lives. I don't know. You know, they could be quoting scriptures in the comments, but live in a totally different way that it's not serving Jesus at all. You know what I mean? Anybody can type. Big deal. You know what I mean? Type is cheap. That's my phrase of the day. Type is cheap. Instead of talk is cheap, talk is cheap. But type is cheap also. Type is pretty cheap. Like typing words in the comments is pretty cheap. Especially if I'm like the only one at the hot gates. Type is cheap for all those years. I'm like, none of them were believers and followers of Jesus. None of them were. But Jesus already knew that. He already knows who's not following him. You know what I mean? I don't know who's not following Jesus. I thought Angel was already a soldier for Jesus. I was wrong. That's how wrong I've been. You know? The Lord knew that Angel of the team was not a soldier of his. A believer in him, yeah. A believer in him, but not a soldier for Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Big difference. So I get it wrong, I do. The Lord knows the truth. You know what I'm saying? He knows all truth. So he's been the one clearing out the X-Men that I thought were cleared. He's been clearing them out. He's like, nope, they're not following me. Think about that. The only two that are like serving God and following God legitimately, that have been cleared by God is Storm and JR. That's it. That's it. Everybody else didn't clear. Nobody else cleared. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? All that vetting to see who was legit for nothing. You know, they weren't following Jesus anyways, like I assumed with some of them. Like, I knew Nightcrawler wasn't following God. Well, he wasn't following Jesus. I already knew he wasn't. He's not saved. But as far as the other X-Men, I didn't know. So, but the Lord knows. The Lord knows. The Lord knows who's following him, who's serving him, and who is not. Because I can't see you guys. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I only know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? That's it. What I'm doing these days is I'm buying Christmas gifts for a 12-year-old for the angel tree thing at the Salvation Army. And I've been reading scriptures every day. And I've been praying too. You know, thanking God. I've been more thankful. You know what I mean? I'm doing it right. I know I am. Battle axe is trying. You know what I mean? When everybody else falls to the wayside. You know what I mean? But I will say this. Even though I've been doing my best. I'm still not as a legit follower of Jesus. Well, like through and through, like JR. You know. For example, JR gets 100% for being loyal to Jesus, serving Jesus, 100% on his test. Out of every test I've done, the Lord's done. You know, the Lord already knew JR was legit the whole time. But I was testing each for my own, because I didn't trust anybody. But yeah, that's pretty much it. 100% trust is JR, who I think is John the Beloved. I'm not kidding. Where does it say in Revelations that John the Beloved passes away? Nowhere. Yep. 100% score on being devoted to Jesus, serving Jesus, being loyal to Jesus. 100% score. Does John Beloved ring a bell? You know what I mean? Where does it say he died? Nowhere. Can the Lord give John the Beloved immortality? You bet your bottom dollar. If anybody can give someone immortality, it's Jesus. Okay? I'm not kidding. The man of double life, the double pro-life guy, Jesus, can give someone life that should be dead. Yeah, that's it. I'm calling it. JR is John the Beloved. I'm calling it. Yeah. He's passed every test as if he's already an apostle of Jesus. Isn't that weird? I thought so as well. I'm like, he didn't die back in the day. JR didn't, but he didn't die back. John the Beloved did not die back in the day. I don't care what anybody says. But anyways, enough about that. But yeah, the Lord watched this. I should make another video about this. Even though Santa Claus is made up and all that stuff, you know. Fair point. But there was a guy named Santa that did send presents around back in the day. That's legit. But, you know, Santa going down the chimney and stuff, that's made up. But, a big but. Even though Santa's made up, Jesus is not made up. Yep. Even though Santa's made up. You know, he sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. Even though Santa doesn't know that, Jesus does. Yeah, you can take that to the bank. They took that from Jesus. He's watching you when you're asleep, knows when you're awake. Jesus knows that. He watches you 24/7, every day. Night and day, night and day, night and day. Jesus watches you. Sorry to burst your bubble. Sorry to burst your bubble. You don't need to worry about the CIA. Jesus watches you closer. You don't have to worry about the CIA. They come in like a millionth place compared to Jesus watching you. A millionth place. To the point where, like, Jesus is watching you guys too. Yep, he's watching me as well. That's what I say to the CIA guys. He's watching you. Oh, he's watching me too. And to everybody else in the law. I'm like, Jesus is watching you too. Yeah, me too. We don't get away with anything. Even the people that enforce the law don't get away with anything. That's how high God's law is. Even the people enforcing the law on this earth don't get away with anything. At the end of the day, they don't. So that's why you got to live above the law. You got to live it higher than the laws. You got to live the law better than the police live the law. I'm not kidding. That's what God's teaching me. Living the law better than anybody. The police live the law better than they do. Because God has more laws. He's the author of all laws. So multiply the earth laws by like 1,000,000. Then you have God's laws. You know, that's how strict God is. That's how many laws God has. We don't hold the candle. We don't hold the candle to how many God's laws God has. That's why no one can live up to God's laws. That's why Jesus had to come. No one could live up to all those laws. People can barely live up to this country's laws. You know what I'm saying? It's legit. Man, I didn't know this video would go in that tangent. Somehow it did. But yeah, that was. Yeah, I thought about this. I'm like, oh. I realized it for sure today. I'm like, the Hot Gates is not in D.C. I realized it for sure today. I'm like, what? And God has his reasons. He let it play out. He let it play out so he could weed out the false X-Men. I'm not kidding. I'm like, okay, he weeded them out for me. You know, but Beast is still hasn't decided. Beast, he's legit. God knows Beast is legit, and I do too. Beast has not decided to go to the Hot Gates or not. Not yet. It may rest on Beast's shoulders. If the Hot Gates happens for the Dame, it may rest on Beast's shoulders, whether he says yes or no. His decision. Because I told God, I'm like, confirm it with 2 other soldiers, legit soldiers for you. Legit soldiers, and Beast is a legit soldier of God, soldier of the Lord. He's a legit soldier. So I'm like, confirm it with other soldiers. 2 other soldiers that haven't said yes. 2 more to make it a go. Otherwise, call it a wash. Better luck next year. We'll go when Bishop goes next year. I mean, like, not next year, but like the year after that. Next year is what we're planning for. See how weird time is with me. You know. Yeah, time doesn't exist, but sorry to burst your bubble. That's why it's hard to coordinate stuff, because time doesn't exist. It doesn't. So I have to coordinate a different way with people. I'm like, meet me here by this tree at the middle of the springtime. That's how I have to coordinate with people. In the state of the Indian name of this, meet me here. So, anyways, yeah, the Lord does the hard work for me. The Lord does the hard work for the battle axe. He's like, the Lord already knows who's legit, who's not legit, who he wants at the Hot Gates. The Lord already knows. He already knows. You know, I don't have to do nothing. You know, whoever's there is legit for Jesus. Whoever's there at the end of the day, when it's time to be there, whoever's there, Jesus cleared them. Jesus cleared them beforehand. He cleared them. He vetted them up until the event. Yeah. And we will be surrounded by the enemy, according to Bishop. So it will be the Hot Gates. Even though we're not in D.C., it will be a Hot Gate the Hawkgate scenario. A few against many surrounding us. A few against many, So, the enemies of Israel know about the summit. They do. The enemies of Israel know about the summit. Trust me, they do. According to Bishop, the enemies of God is not just in Saudi Arabia. They're not just over there by Israel. They're over here too. That's why it's a serious mission. Only the best soldiers are going to go. Only the best. Even if the best isn't me at the end of the day, maybe I'll slip up between then and now. You never know. The Lord has kept me sharp in different things, but improving in different areas, but you never know. Even I have to pass many tests between now and the hot gates. I have to pass many tests still. Yeah, I do. I have to pass many tests for Jesus. It's no joke. The Lord knows I'm a former enemy of his. I could go AWOL. I'm not doing this. You're my former enemy, Jesus. I'm not doing this. It's tough to make that switch. It is, but I did, Spending a lot of your life. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. I'll just say this. God threw a curveball in my face. He did a U-turn on me. The Lord made a U-turn on me. He did. You know what I'm saying? But anyway. But yeah. Only JR Blue Sky. Only JR Blue Sky. And who knows, Who knows who the final people will be, even still. Who knows who will be the final people for Jesus? Who knows? That's how strict Jesus is. He's super strict, as you can imagine. Especially about Israel. If you're going to stand for Israel for Jesus, he's gonna put you through many, 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 many tests. If you're going to represent him, represent the real Jesus for Israel on location, you're going to have to be legit in many ways for Jesus, all right? And Jesus will make sure, you know what I mean? For sure. But, that's all I want to say for this video. I think that's good enough.